The Psychological Reconstruction of Iran. Article 10. From Subject to Citizen. Rebuilding Iran's Civic Identity. Democracy does not begin with a change of government. It begins with a change in how people see themselves. As long as individuals think of themselves as subjects rather than citizens, even the best constitution cannot create a free and responsible society. Psychological reconstruction, therefore, requires rebuilding civic identity. A subject submits to power. A citizen possesses rights and accepts responsibility for the nation's future. The subject mentality treats authority as sacred and beyond criticism, seeking security through obedience to a superior. The citizen's mindset is built on reason, personal responsibility, equality before the law, and respect for human dignity. Political legitimacy comes not from sanctity, but from the rule of law and the consent of the people. This is not merely a political distinction, it is a fundamentally different way of thinking and living. Social psychology shows that personal and collective identities are deeply connected. When people are taught for generations that only rulers have the right to decide, they gradually lose their sense of agency and responsibility. The result is passivity, mistrust, and the belief that public affairs are someone else's concern. Such attitudes are essential to the survival of authoritarian rule. One of the central elements of Iran's modernization during the Pahlavi era was the gradual transition from subjects to citizens. Expanding public education, creating modern institutions, strengthening civil rights, and reinforcing a shared national identity all sought to replace the traditional relationship between ruler and subject with one based on citizenship and the rule of law. Like many other aspects of Iran's modernization, this process was interrupted, and in some respects reversed, after the establishment of the Islamic Republic, where ideological identity and obedience to authority once again overshadowed citizenship. Preparing society to resume this unfinished modernization project must therefore become one of the defining tasks of the post-Islamic Republic transition. Citizenship is about more than rights. It also demands responsibility. Respect for the law, defending the rights of others, accepting criticism, tolerating disagreement, participating in public life, and being accountable to society are all essential civic virtues. Human rights rest on the same principle. Every person, regardless of political belief, ethnicity, religion, gender, or background, possesses equal dignity and equal rights, and no authority stands above the law. Yet traces of the subject mentality can still be found even among parts of Iran's opposition. Individuals shaped by authoritarian systems may unconsciously reproduce the same patterns of personality cults, unquestioning obedience, intolerance of dissent, and the sanctification of political leaders. This stands in sharp contrast to Iran's younger generation, whose primary demand is the restoration of their rights as citizens. If opposition movements continue to reflect authoritarian political culture, they will struggle to represent that aspiration. For this reason, civic education must begin now, even before political transition starts. A society cannot postpone learning democratic values until after democracy has been established. During the transition itself, civic and human rights education should become a national priority, alongside support for independent civil society organizations and meaningful public participation. Civic identity begins with law, but becomes culture only through education, participation, and daily practice. Trust is the greatest asset of any democratic society. As citizens cooperate, respect the law, and participate in civic institutions, they generate what sociologists call social capital, the networks of trust, cooperation, and shared responsibilities that hold democratic societies together. The Nordic countries provide some of the world's strongest examples of high social capital, where public trust, civic responsibility, and respect for the rule of law contribute to stable democracy, prosperity, and a high quality of life. Ultimately, Iran's psychological reconstruction means rebuilding this social capital. Transforming a society shaped by fear, obedience, and mistrust into one founded on trust, participation, responsibility, human rights, and the rule of law. Iran's psychological reconstruction begins the day every Iranian becomes a citizen before asking others to build democracy. Real transition starts at that moment, even if political change has not yet occurred. Democracy is more than a system of government. It is a way of thinking, living, and recognizing the equal dignity of every human being. Mahmoud Ashkanian, neuropsychiatrist, PhD.